tutorial looks at the Yum Yum Burger Joint program, specifically focusing on Raptor. Now here in the program, the pseudocode is provided for you, and what we're doing in here is we're simulating a restaurant program. So we're going to start by first declaring our variables, and what we'll do in here is we're going to start main by creating a module called declare variables. Now because this program has so many variables, it's important that we declare them and set them equal to 0. So we're going to create this module, and then we have a total of 13 variables that you'll set. Now the first two, end program and end order, they're strings, so as a reminder, put quotes around the word no. And then the remaining of our variables, our numeric variables, so we're going to set those equal to 0. So we have things like total burger, total fry, total soda, total tax, and so on. Now all of those variables that you declare, if you follow the pseudocode, when it calls this module that's outside here, here are all of the variables that you're going to set to either no or 0. Now after that, we go into a loop called end program. So what we're going to do there is we're going to add our first loop, and this loop is for end program. So we'll ask, while end program is equal to yes, if it is equal to yes, we end the program. Now the next step of the pseudocode is to reset our variables. Now why we need to do this is so that the second person in line doesn't get the totals of the first person in line. So certain variables, primarily our total variables, must be reset. So on the second iteration, it starts fresh. So there's a total of 6 things that we should reset here. Those being total burger, total fry, just reset those equal to 0, total soda, total tax, and subtotal. Now all of those that are listed here, those are all in this module here called reset variables, and we have all 6 of those being reset to 0. Now going back to main, the next thing we do is we start a loop that will take in one person's order. So this consists of a decision, a nested decision that allows for our 3 menu options, and then asking if they want to end the order. So back to main, what we're going to do is we're going to add another loop. Now we add a loop here because they have the option of adding more than one item to their menu. Because when we go to a fast food restaurant, we often add more than one thing. So when this end order is equal to yes, we end the order. If it's not finished, what we're going to do is we're going to add a nested decision. So the first one, these are going to be for our options. Now previous to that, we need to ask for what they want. So we're going to add an input statement up there, and we'll ask up here, we'll ask enter 1 for burger, 2 for fry, 3 for soda, and then we're going to put that into our option. Now here, if option is equal to 1, then they're going to get the burger. If option is equal to 2, then they get a fry, and 3 for soda. So if it's 1, following the pseudocode, we have a call to a module called getBurger. Now the next thing over here is we have a module called getFry, and then we have another module called getSoda, and that all depends on whatever their option is when they enter an option up here. Now in each of these modules here, this is fairly basic code. There's no loops or decisions. All of the module details are coded down here in pseudocode. What we're going to do is simply ask for how many they want, and then we're going to accumulate the burger total. We're going to accumulate in case they decide they want to add more than one. So in each of these modules, we'll do an input that asks for how many do they want, and we're going to put it in a module or in a variable called burger count, or fry count or soda count, depending on whatever one you're coding. And then we're going to have a calculation that totals everything up. Total burger equals total burger plus how many they want, which is burger count, times the cost of that item. In this case, burgers cost 99 cents. Now, when we go back to main and you finish coding these, if we follow the pseudocode, once this process is complete and they end the order, that's when we calculate our total and print our receipt and ask if there's another person in line. So we're going to go back to Raptor, add those modules. Those line up to here. So here is our first module that calcs total. And then we have another module called print receipt. Now in these two, what we're going to do is we're going to go over to our calc total. We have an assignment statement that calculates our subtotal, one that calculates our tax, one that calculates our total. And then in our output for our print receipt, we're just simply asking to print the total. So we'll add an output there. Now back in main, if we're following the pseudocode, the next thing we're going to do is to ask if we want to end the program. So back inside of Raptor, that's just going to be an input statement that asks for end program. So we'll say, do you want to end the program? That would simulate the end of the day. Now if that's the end of the day, we'll come back up here, and if it is end program, we will simply end the program. Before we end the program, we need to ask if there's an end of the order. I'm sorry, these are in the wrong place. These need to go right down here in order to end the program. So we're going to move those down just slightly. And in here, we're going to ask to end the order. Now, if they end the order, then we end the order and we follow this down. We calculate total, print the receipt, and ask if they want to end the program. If they want to end the program, we come up here and we end the entire program. Now let me minimize this and so you can kind of see the full structure of main. It's quite large. And just to kind of go through the process again, we have this here to declare our variables. We have an outside loop for the entire program. That's the entire day. If the day is over, then we simply end the program. But if the day is not over, we reset and then we go in for one order. We figure out what they want. We go out to each one, ask if they want to end the order. If they do, we follow this loop up and we end the order, at which point we calculate total, print receipt, and end the program, or ask if we want to end the program. If so, we do. If not, we reset here, and then we process again. So your main should look like this.